Looks like a gym in a bag, babe. A gym in a bag. A gym in a bag, babe. A gym in a bag. A gym in a bag.
It's a gym in a bag. Gym in a bag. It's a gym in a bag.
Bueno.
Hello and welcome to the video. So 2020 has been a funny year to say the least, and one year it has not been the year for gains. If anything, it has been the anti-gains year. People have been struggling to hold on to their gains by all means possible in 2020. They've been closing the gyms, they've been trying to keep us indoors, away from everything. They've been sold out of everything online. If you've been lucky, you've had a few old weights from back in your childhood days that you've been able to rep out some weights. But if anything, this year has taught me that bodyweight training is where it's at. Well, especially for me anyway. Someone who likes to travel and who is always on the road, bodyweight training really makes sense. So this summer I bought a pair of rings, and as I said in my previous video, rings are pretty much the ultimate workout equipment. You can do everything on a pair of rings. You can do pull-ups, dips, rows, levers, muscle ups, maybe that's it. But yeah, that's enough to do a full body workout routine, and you can do like assisted pistol squats and stuff like that. So the rings have been surviving me so well throughout the summer. Living in my car, I could just chuck them up a tree and I'm good to go. Unfortunately, it is now December and the weather isn't as kind, and we're in like the 15th lockdown of the year. I'm kind of lost count by now. Gyms have closed again, or they're closed again. So a decision had to be made, and I'm pretty confident that I've made the right decision. I bought a pull-up mate, and in this video I'm going to be explaining why this is the ultimate piece of workout equipment and maybe why you should get one too. So what is the pull-up mate? The pull-up mate is pretty much a pull-up bar on wheels, but not just a pull-up bar. You're able to flip this thing around, you're able to do dips, rows, all this kind of stuff, and it conveniently folds up into a little bag. You can put this thing up anywhere. I've put it up in several places already. It's super easy to put together and take apart. I mean, if I can do it, literally anyone can do it. The stats, the pull-up mate is about 2 meters tall, will hold 110 kilogram person, costs £120, but really it costs £150 because it's £120 without the carry bag, so it's £150 with the bag, and it'd be very difficult to travel without the bag, so it's £150. The piece of equipment I'm absolutely over the moon with. As I say, we travel around a lot. I add the rings to the pull-up mate, and it is pretty much enables me to do everything and anything I could ever imagine. So before I bought the pull-up mate, I was actually considering just getting a pull-up, a door pull-up? A pull-up bar that goes in the door. I was considering getting one of those. There's several of them and they get really bad reviews, but there was one that was like £50-60 that I was actually considering getting. I thought, it's an investment, but people did say it left marks on the door, and then I looked into it closer and it actually only fits specific doors. Like, you need to have this much on each door, and in every house I seem to stay in, the doors seem to be on curves or open outwards or inwards. So door pull-up bars are very specific to doors themselves, so they're actually not the solution for someone who does travel around a lot. If I lived in a house, you could always just get one of those metal bar pull-ups, screw drive them into the wall and then hang some rings off. Yeah, that could be a cheaper and easier, more spacious version of the pull-up mate. But for someone like me, as I said, the pull-up mate is absolutely fantastic. It is also a lot more versatile for beginners. If you're very new to calisthenics, you can scale back exercises a lot further when you've just got a pull-up bar and a pair of rings. The movements are a lot more advanced. Like doing dips on rings, you incorporate a lot more stabilizer muscles. If you're not strong enough in that position, or if you don't do the movement correctly, you can injure your shoulders and stuff like that. So the pull-up mate is actually even better for beginners, but it's also perfect for more advanced people. That's kind of why I've really been enjoying using it. Why pick the pull-up mate over? There are other companies like Gravity Fitness also do similar looking products. The pull-up mate, actually, the reason I chose the pull-up mate is it has now released a pull-up mate 2, which is like an added piece that can attach to the original pull-up mate, and this enables you to become more advanced. You can do more advanced movements. It's a lot sturdier and stronger, which means you can practice human flags, which will be on my list, but the thing that did worry me about getting the Pullup Mate 2 is the Pullup Mate 1 is already 20 kilos, and I believe the Pullup Mate 2 is another 20 kilos, so we travel around in a very small car, and I think traveling around with an extra 40 kilos might be pushing it. So if we actually finally do settle down somewhere for a while, I maybe consider getting the Pullup Mate 2, but for now the Pullup Mate 1 is more than I need. Pros and cons. Pros and cons of the Pullup Mate. Pros for me are, you can set it up and put it down in like 10 seconds. Honestly, when I say I'll put like a montage of me like whipping it up and down. Even if you had to set it up and unset it every time you used it, you're talking a couple of minutes, really that quick and simple. Yeah, you can attach your rings to it. It holds up to 110k. I'm only 75 kilos, so I could even wear a weighted vest and train on this thing. So yeah, that's pretty incredible. One of the negatives people say I actually think is a positive, but I'll put it in the negatives in case you think it's a negative, is it's a bit rocky. So like when you're trying to do pull-ups, it does kind of swing. It maybe feels like it's not fully in control or feels like it's not fully stable, but it 100% is. I actually think that's better because if you do complete clean form, it doesn't rock whatsoever. So when it starts rocking or being unstable, you know that your form's dropping or you're using momentum. So I actually think it's a bonus. The second thing, it is very heavy. Like 20 kilos in a bag isn't light. I know on like the video, the guy on like the sales video, the guy's just like strolling with it on his back, like ain't no thing. But it is heavy. Like I think it's heavy.
What a hunk.
Actually doesn't feel that heavy now.
You still make it look quite difficult.
Yeah. If maybe you were not as strong, not saying I'm super strong, but if you're not as strong, a beginner, to like actually be carrying this thing around, it's probably going to be pretty difficult. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Another negative is probably, but I think you could solve this too, and it's not a super issue. The bar is kind of slippy, so when you get quite hot, I feel like it's hot inside. I can find it kind of difficult to hang on to the bar, but as I say, the majority of times myself, I just use the rings anyway. I have looked on forums and people like wrap some like grip tape or something like that around the things, or you could probably wear gloves to avoid the slipping problem. Another negative people have said, but again, I always use my rings. You can do dips on it, but the actual width of the dips is pretty far away. They have released since this time, they must have heard about all the complaints, some close grip dip bars, so you can always upgrade, which is kind of, I do like the way the Pullup Mate is able to upgrade and you can attach things to it. It's a pretty cool technique. That is the Pullup Mate. That is my new travel piece of equipment. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's pretty much an indoor tree for me because I just hang my rings off it. Another piece of equipment I have, I don't think I had when I talked in my previous video of how I work on the road, is parallettes. I absolutely love parallettes. It's a super cheap, versatile piece of equipment. You can actually do a lot on them. Having parallettes is really good if you do a lot of calisthenics training, a lot of handstand practice and stuff like that. It can be a lot of pressure on your wrist, so I find using parallettes not only involves different muscle groups, it gives my wrists a break sometimes, and my goal at the moment is to work towards doing a freestanding handstand push-up, so I do like the increased range of motion using the parallettes. And yeah, you can just do like push-ups, L-sits, some other kind of cool stuff like that. And I also have a yoga block, which I find convenient. You can also use that to like raise your feet and stuff like that when using the rings. And I also need it if you're not very flexible like myself. It's perfect to sit on when you're trying to practice shuttle stretch and stuff like that. And finally, in my equipment, because mobility is just as important as working out, I carry a stretch band to help stretch my shoulders and arms, and I also carry a lacrosse ball, which I always use to like roll out my feet and my back. And yeah, all this kind of fits in the bag, nice and easy. And yeah, that is the ultimate travel gym equipment. It seems like quite a lot of money, £150, but if you have a gym membership, that's probably 6 months gym membership. I don't know how much gyms cost. It's been a while since I've been to one properly. Yeah, so you think that that's a gym for life. So yeah, it's paid itself off after 6 months. I will probably be looking to get the Pullup Mate 2 in the future. We are probably gonna stay in one location for a while at some point in the near future, so then I will get that and I will let you guys know how that's going. But yeah, I hope this has helped make you feel more free, that you don't have to worry about gyms or anything like that. because I know that's when I travelled, I always used to have to like research if there was any gyms locally nearby. I always had to like, and once I had the rings, I always had to like see if there's trees, or always checking the weather to see if it's going to be hot enough for me to be outside, or at least not raining. But now I don't have to have any of that worries. I've got all I need in one carry bag, super simple, the ultimate home gym. Everything you need to know. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this. I will be making a video about how I make my own workouts coming up soon. Hope you look forward to that. Like the video if you found it useful. Comment below if you have a pull-up mate, or if you're thinking about getting one. I'd love to know. Or if you have different equipment that you think I should have a look into, because I'd love to see that as well. New videos every Wednesday and Sunday, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Gym in a bag. Gym in a bag. It's a gym in a bag.